Hey, well, happy new week to everyone. Great to have you. It's 6 minutes to enlightenment, and there's a great line in the scripture of recovery that says, "And we have ceased fighting anyone or anything, because by this time sanity will have returned." Such a beautiful line. We have ceased fighting anyone or anything, for by this time sanity will have returned. So it seems to me, personal opinion, when I express mine, you can always think about yours. And as we clarify the way that we see the world, maybe we'll get a better worldview. But it seems to me like the number one problem individually and collectively on the planet is perhaps not what instantly comes to mind. It's insanity. And insanity is just as available to an individual as it is to a collective. And both sides of the aisle suffer from insanity. A great Russian author, Alexander Solzhenitsyn, he wrote the Gulag archipelago, and he deeply held to the core of his soul as a basic fundamental tenet that the world depended upon him, and all the misery and abuse and horrifying unfairness that was heaped upon him by a cruel Soviet regime. He took personal responsibility for it and searched in his own heart for where he was bitter and resentful and insane. And he had an us versus them mentality. And he ended up writing a book that basically toppled the Soviet Union. That's how powerful one individual is. That's how powerful I am. That's how powerful you are. But we all, right now, the world is suffering from a horrible, horrible outbreak of, and has been for a while now, of us versus them. There's this them out there that is the other side, and they are ruining everything, and they need to be squashed and canceled and removed. And everybody needs to come over to this side. And it's that kind of mentality that's going to end the planet. If it could very well. It's hanging in the balance. So if there's not a time to look inside of our own hearts for the insanity of us versus them, this is it. The time has come now for every individual, because one person could change the whole planet by clearing up the us versus them, the resentment, the bitterness, the hatred against whoever it is that we're bitter, hating, and resentful against. And without that, then this can only continue. And this is why it's erupted in the world to the degree that it has. So we ceased fighting anyone or anything. It's the most radical notion that human beings can ever face, is that we must not resist. We must search in our own hearts without fear or favor and find what we hate and what we're bitter and what we're resentful. We must find the them out there that's opposing us and clear it up and clean it up. Because without that, we're never going to make progress spiritually. It's just going to be lip service. Jesus said, before you go to the church and pray, put down your gift and clear up your heart, anything you have against your brother. Because don't waste your time going to church and giving lip service to spirituality if there's a them out there that is worthy of your deserving and hatred and fighting, because that has to go first. And we can't wait for the outside world. Boy, I sure hope the outside world clears up all this conflict and hatred so I can get back to my peacefulness. Sorry, the time for that is over. And it's time for every individual who hears this message. It's not my message. It's the message that's been on the planet for several thousand years. Clean it up on the inside, or watch the outside world turn into hell. So we'll talk about it all week. Thanks, everybody.